Hello friends. If you're over 70 or you love someone who is, don't scroll past this one, because a story spreading across Facebook right now has panicked pensioners across the country. I need to tell you the truth about it. But here's the twist, the truth isn't just reassuring. It's also a warning about something far more real that almost nobody is talking about. Welcome back to Pension and Benefits Guide, the channel that cuts through the confusion around pensions, DWP rules, and everything the system doesn't explain clearly enough. If you're new here, consider subscribing. We break these updates down in plain English, nothing hidden, nothing exaggerated. So here's what's been going around. Thousands of shares, thousands of angry comments. The claim is that new Prime Minister Andy Burnham is preparing legislation to force every driver over 70 to retake their full practical driving test, the same test they took as teenagers. People who've driven safely for 50 years are convinced their license is about to be ripped away. Let's deal with this straight away. Full Fact, the UK's independent fact-checking organisation, investigated this exact claim, and the verdict was clear: it's false. The Independent confirmed the same finding. No legislation has been proposed, no bill has been tabled, and no minister has announced any plan to make drivers retake the full practical test at any age. But the government is genuinely reviewing driving rules for older motorists. A real consultation ran from January to May 2026, looking at mandatory eyesight tests at licence renewal for drivers 70 and over, with results expected later this year. There's also discussion about replacing the current self-declaration system with actual evidence from an optician. And here's the problem. While everyone's been panicking over a test retake that isn't happening, almost nobody's paying attention to 4 changes that actually are happening, changes that could affect your license, your insurance, or your legal standing without you even knowing it. Quick mention before we continue: if you're retired or getting close, and the pension and DWP system has ever felt designed to confuse you, I put together the British Pensioners' Money Playbook. Every rule, every form, every phone number, checked against the 2026-27 government figures, explained in plain English. Links in the description and pinned comment. Now, the 4 real changes. First, your eyesight, and the days of simply ticking a box are ending. Right now, drivers over 70 self-declare that they can read a number plate at 20 meters, no optician, no independent check. But the government's consultation was set up specifically to close that gap, and the expected outcome, likely before the end of 2026, is mandatory professional eyesight testing at every 3-year renewal. If you're 70 or approaching it, book a proper eye test now, before any formal requirement lands. It's free on the NHS for anyone 60 and over. And here's what social media missed entirely: making a false eyesight declaration at 70 isn't a paperwork slip. It's a criminal offence under road traffic law, and if it comes out after an accident, the consequences go well beyond a fine. Here's where the real impact becomes clear, especially if you own a motorhome or help with community transport. The second change happens quietly and automatically on your 70th birthday. If you passed your test before January 1997, your license carries grandfather rights, automatic entitlement to categories C1 and D1. C1 covers vehicles between 3.5 and 7.5 tons, D1 covers minibuses carrying 9 to 16 passengers. Plenty of people use these without even thinking about it. Here's the catch: those entitlements don't carry over automatically at your 70th renewal. You have to proactively apply to keep them, with a medical exam on Form D2 and an eyesight report on Form D4, submitted to the DVLA. If you don't, C1 and D1 quietly vanish from your license. No warning letter, no phone call, no chance to object. So check your DVLA driving record on gov.uk now. If C1 or D1 is listed and you want to keep it, contact the DVLA before your 70th birthday, not after. Once it's gone, you're starting the process from scratch. The third real change concerns your medical history, and the rules here have quietly tightened. The DVLA requires you to declare any condition that could affect your driving: epilepsy, certain heart conditions, stroke, insulin-managed diabetes, Parkinson's, significant vision problems, sleep apnea, and conditions causing sudden loss of consciousness. At 70, the DVLA now runs random medical spot checks, cross-referenced against GP records. Fail to declare, and you're facing a fine of up to £1,000. Worse, if you're in an accident and an undeclared condition comes to light, your insurance could be invalid, and driving uninsured brings consequences far beyond that original fine. So if you've been diagnosed with anything relevant since your last declaration, check the DVLA's Notifiable Conditions guidance on gov.uk, or simply ask your GP. Disclosure costs nothing. Non-disclosure could cost a great deal. Quick pause. If this is useful, hit like, tell me in the comments which of these 4 changes surprised you most, and share this with someone over 70 who's been worrying about that retake rumor. It genuinely helps. The 4th change is simpler but still catches people out. The DVLA's online renewal system is now much faster, around 5 days online versus up to 3 weeks by paper. But your address on your license has to match where you actually live. If you've moved and haven't updated your DVLA record, you're technically in breach, and the fine is also up to £1,000. Updating it is free and takes about 5 minutes on gov.uk. So let's bring it together. The claim that Andy Burnham's government will force every driver over 70 to retake their full test, false, confirmed by both Full Fact and The Independent. What's real? Mandatory eyesight testing at renewal is likely coming, and false declaration is a criminal offence. Grandfather rights for motorhomes and minibuses can vanish automatically at 70 unless you apply to keep them. The list of medical conditions you must declare has grown, with fines up to £1,000 and possible insurance problems. And an outdated address on your licence can mean another £1,000 fine, fixed in 5 minutes. Which of these 4 did you not know about before today? Tell me in the comments. I read every one. If you found this useful, subscribe so you don't miss the next update, and share this with every driver over 70 you know, especially the ones sharing that retake story on Facebook. They deserve the real picture, not the panic. I'll see you in the next video.